Now I'd like to introduce Jill Fraser, who's going to introduce your valedictorians.
This is quite an historical event because never in the 25-year history of our school have we had not one, but two valedictorians. And certainly never have we had twin sisters fulfill that role. With all they have meant to me and to Sinclair Secondary School, I am very humbled to be introducing them to you tonight. Graduating class of 2019, our 25th graduating class, it says so much about who you are and what you believe in that you chose Marion and Naval as your 2019 valedictorians. Like you, Marion and Naval deeply believe in equity and the rights for all human beings in this world. And like you, they believe your generation has much to say to the rest of us about the climate crisis and politics and about issues affecting our community and the entire world. By nominating the twins your class valedictorians, it sends a clear message that, like all of you, they believe that now is the time, more than any time in history, that the voices of girls and women are heard both here in Canada and around the world. Class of 2019, you have made an excellent choice to represent your graduating year and your generation, because these two young women embody these values and beliefs and have taken action and worked tirelessly to help the voice of your generation be heard. Just like you, they have changed so much since that first day of grade 9 at Sinclair. With all their fears and worries and dreams, they, like you, could never have imagined who they would be on this night, high school graduates, now with the whole world before them. Over the years, working with Miriam and Naval, we have talked a lot about girl heroes. A girl hero is a girl who shows us our best in ourselves, who represents girls and women in a way that teaches the world that we have something powerful to say, and who has the bravery to speak her truth and to stand up for her beliefs. Tonight I'm going to explain a little bit about why Miriam and Naval are definitely girl heroes. Miriam and Naval Raymond were born to parents Samina Umar and Habib Raymond in Mirpur, Azad, Kashmir, Pakistan on June 26, 2001. They were deeply influenced by their grandmother, who donated the land to build a school in their village for young girls. At 5, Naval and Miriam moved to Canada and began their education here. Activism began early when they went back to Pakistan in grade 3 and learned that girls in their village were quitting school by grade 5. Even from an early age, the twins felt compelled to help the girls and their village see the importance of education. And from an early age, they had a vision on how they might do that. They knew, as we know now, that education can change everything for the 130 million children around the world who cannot attend school simply because they are girls. Fast forward to their education here at Sinclair Secondary, where they continue to make a dramatic impact on our school with their involvement in many clubs and organizations, including Youth in Action, Students Against Racism, Sinclair Ambassadors, Model United Nations, Athletic Council, Sinclair Theatre, Environmental Council, and as well, many, many fundraisers that we've held here at Sinclair, all while maintaining a 95% average each year. I know I can speak for every teacher who has taught or worked with these young women that it was an absolute pleasure to have their help with any school initiative. With their incredibly strong organizational and leadership skills, whatever the endeavor, Miriam and Naval were involved. If Miriam and Naval were involved, it was sure to be a success. When I met the twins 3 years ago through our Youth in Action Club, I agreed to help them with their Girl Up Club, and we began to plan events and brainstorm ideas. Over the last 3 years, Miriam, Naval, and I, with the help of many graduates here, and had so much fun planning and holding our Girl Up events, including our Sinclair's first Women's Day conference, 2 Girl Up summits, as well as 2 Girls' Nights In. The twins took the lead on each of these events, and with each event, the students of Sinclair had the opportunity to learn more about themselves and about girls around the world. They also learned how to get more involved in the issues affecting us. Sometimes our students can influence and inspire us as much as we can influence and inspire them. And every day I am grateful I met these wonderful girls and for everything that they have taught me. They even agreed to let me be their triplet. So I think I'm going to take them up on that. I've learned so much from the two of you and have enjoyed all the special moments we've shared during your time at Sinclair. I'll miss our talks in the co-op office and hearing all about your adventures. In fact, all of us at Sinclair watched in awe of both of you while you pursued your interest in journalism and filmmaking over the years, when you interviewed Malala Yousafzai and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We were all so excited when you were featured on Good Morning America while working on the Dream Big Disney Princess Girl Up project in New York. And when you interviewed the heads of the World Bank and IMF last year to press commitments from world leaders on the issues of girls' education around the world. We cheered you on as you interviewed David Suzuki, and most recently on the CBC. And I've been delighted to experience your most recent trip to Pakistan and your village school in your first feature documentary. I am particularly proud of both of you for using your social media platform to raise awareness about the issues you believe in. Miriam and Naval have proven that no matter how young a person is, there is always something one can do to activate change. And all of this they have done with humility and purpose and with a purity of intent that is truly admirable. If you have not heard the names Miriam and Naval until tonight, I promise you, you will in the future. In conclusion, I say to both of you and to the class of 2019, quoted from your published essay, never be afraid of failure. Pursue your goals with the firm belief that you are capable of doing anything you set your mind to doing. After all, if we are to live in a truly equitable world, we need to work together, pursue our dreams, and shine until our light cannot be ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to give you our class of 2019 valedictorians, Sinclair's Girl Heroes, Miriam and Naval.
My name is Miriam, and my name is Naval. When we first met a lot of you, we would tell you not to worry if you couldn't tell the difference right away, because you would be able to do so eventually. Hopefully, after 4 years, this time has come and you can finally tell the difference. If not, we don't know what to tell you because this may be the last time we meet a lot. Also, given the fact that this was a fairly populous school and we have not had classes with all of you, we'd like to take this as an opportunity to prove that yes, there are two of us, and there isn't just one of us who passed by you in one hallway and then also appeared right in front of you 2 seconds later coming from a completely different hallway. In other words, I don't know how to teleport, and no, you were not seen double on the odd occasion when you were not running around the school completing tasks separately, and you managed to see us walking side by side wearing the exact same clothes. We're going to keep this twin thing going because it is indeed our thing, but we'll move on to some more stories from our wonderful high school experience that we were honored to share with all of you joining us here today. We will end off with a farewell message that hopefully inspires you and guides you through your years beyond high school. First of all, this is a dream come true. We never imagined that we would be allowed to be valedictorians together, and yet, here we are. Making our little mark in Sinclair's history in some ways as the first twin valedictorians of this school. We think that this historic moment is not just about us though. We believe that there is something special and different about the 25th graduating class of Sinclair. Something that could be represented by this decision made by our fellow graduates to not only choose one, but 2 valedictorians. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It truly is an honor for the both of us. Let's take a little flashback now to the very first year of high school. You all began this journey at Sinclair during the first semester of grade 9, and we joined you in the second semester. You had all been through the process of starting classes before, you probably made a couple of friends by then, And maybe you even knew that there wasn't a pool on the mythical 5th floor. Coming to Sinclair in the second semester of grade 9 was scary for us because this was the biggest pool we had ever been to. We had no friends other than each other, and amid all this nervousness, we wholeheartedly believed that there was indeed a 5th floor with a swimming pool. It wasn't until we began to hear that the school swim team practices over at Iroquois that we started to have our doubts about that myth. We think that this is exactly what grade 9 was all about, debunking the myths that people often tell you about the high school experience and finding your place in the high school world. As Dr. Seuss puts it, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. Grade 9 consisted of steering yourself in a particular direction for high school, even if it meant changing that direction countless times in the process, as many of us did. But at least we started somewhere. The one thing that we'd like to point out is that it was because of the amazing teachers we had that year who believed in us and encouraged us right from the start that we got settled into grade 9. That year was memorable for a lot of reasons. It was also the first year that the two of us began organizing events and chasing after all of you to attend them. We know that it became a repetitive process, us coming up to you and asking you to attend events we planned with Girl Up and Youth in Action, sign a petition for the Environmental Council, join us for STARS, cultural talent shows, debate and model UN, join Celtic Journal's mailing list, or even do a turkey shoot with Athletic Council. But we hope that in at least some of the activities we planned over the years, you were able to find some inspiration, empowerment, and had a good time, because that was always the goal. Grade 10 required even more hard work now that we had become adjusted to the high school experience. But as Frida Kahlo said, at the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can. We all kind of knew how high school worked by this point and weren't nearly as confused as we were in grade 9. But that gap we had in the halls of Sinclair over the summer really made us forget where a lot of our classes were. But then again, do the numbers in those classrooms really make a lot of sense? Why isn't there a particular obvious order to the room numbering system? I mean, it's kind of late for that suggestion because we're all graduating. Yes, that's right. Back to grade 10, it was the second year of the Inside Ride fundraiser, and we were surprised, honored, and thrilled to be handed over the reins for the fundraiser, being chosen as project managers. What followed was months of hard work and the whole school coming together to raise $23,000 for families with children who have cancer. That's incredible. We were all a part of this and many more meaningful fundraisers throughout the year, like the Canada 150 celebrations for Canada's still can't pronounce that, 150th birthday, organized in part by Youth in Action and other leadership teams throughout the school year. In the academic world, we saw grade 10 as the last year when science courses were required. The two of us managed to continue taking them before completely changing our minds about which career we wanted to pursue. And we did that a lot. But many of us felt that way, unsure of what to do, what degree to pursue if we went to post-secondary school, and a lot of you may still feel that way. That's completely fine. We learn, grow, and change our minds based on our experiences. By the time grade 11 came around, we were pros. Well, almost. We had to start thinking about what we would do beyond grade 12 and began to realize that going out into the so-called real world was closer than it had ever been before. Everyone is expected to succeed somehow after completing high school, but as Bobby Knight once said, the will to succeed is important, but what's more important is the will to prepare. That willingness to prepare for the real world and work hard is what got us all through grade 11. It was also a musical year, and we had the pleasure of working with many of you on The Wizard of Oz. Finally, we were in grade 12. So close, yet so far from the finish line. Classes were tougher than ever, we had midterms for the first time, and more homework than any other year. The most memorable moment of our year was definitely planning a coup of Miss Lang's class with our politics classmates. You all know what we're talking about. It was the final time that we had our exam review day celebratory tradition of going to Eastside Mario's with our best friend, Selena Zakiris. But we also faced a bit of the real world in our own ways. As if we didn't say this enough times last year, the two of us finished high school a semester early to go back to our beloved home country, Pakistan, and film a documentary there about the status of girls' education. We learned about the challenges that girls face, but also about the incredible work that is being done to resolve them, which left us very inspired. The problems here in Canada were different, but this did not mean that they were any less important. Many of you took part in the strike against the policy changes made by the Ford government, taking charge for all of our futures. A little bit of the real world hit all of us in substantial ways this year, and it will continue to do so in our post-secondary careers. Also in grade 12 though, we were allowed to have a spare, and whether you used your spare to do your actual work, talk to your friends, sleep in, or have an extra long lunch break, your decision to procrastinate or using your time wisely worked out in your favor, because regardless of what you all decided to do at those times, you ended up passing the finish line and are sitting here today earning your high school diploma. We all finally did it. But we're not done yet. You see, school teaches us a lot, but as our hero, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan said, the more you study, the more you know how less you know. By the end of high school, we have all discovered that there's a certain field we don't know much about, but would like to spend many more years learning about it. Whether that's learning how to do a trade, entering the job market, learning about international relations, or neuroscience, there's many things you can do, and no matter which path you have all chosen, the incredible part is, according to C.S. Lewis, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. I mean, I'll take his word for it, but high school was pretty amazing, and it's quite sad to let these 4 years go, at least for the two of us. But as Dr. Seuss put it, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. We got to know a lot of you throughout our time here, whether that be through classes or extracurricular activities, and that truly enriched our experience here. We want to thank all the students and also staff members. There are too many incredible staff members that either taught us, worked with us, or we got a chance to simply know over our time here to name everyone, but we hope that you all know how much we appreciate all of you. Over the years that we have spent at this school, we have made amazing friends, not only among the students of the school, but also the teachers. We will miss our long conversations with all of you about anything from our goals for the future to the details of our experiences when we would go off to do some project somewhere in the world from time to time throughout high school. We also want to thank our parents for their constant support throughout this journey, and especially for driving us to school almost every day just so we could continue to participate in our extracurriculars even after we moved to Bowmanville. We wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for the constant love, support, and dedication our parents have for making sure that our dreams come true. We'd like to end off by saying congratulations to the graduating class of 2019. You should all be very, very proud of what you've accomplished throughout your educational journey so far and excited for what lies ahead. You are all so unique, extraordinary, and we know you'll accomplish amazing things in your future. It has been an honor to be your valedictorians, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
What a marvellous speech. Thank you, Jill, for introducing those valedictorians. Yes, the first time we've had a joint there.